Alright lads, so it's a new month, and with that we now have the awakened version of the YHWACH epic raid, a boss with I believe 50 million HP, and this boss is somewhat difficult if you don't know the pattern, which we are going to break down in this video. Now as always, before we do break down the boss, let's quickly talk about the bonus characters, how you should prepare for this current epic raid boss. So looking at the bonus list of characters, the bonuses this time around are actually very good, some really high damaging characters, and the characters that I would recommend using, at least from the technique attribute, is Kuroshige. His damage output is quite high, especially if you do get under 50% stamina. Ichigo does have a high damage output, is premium based, a lot of people have him max transcended, and he also does have killer, so he's going to be a good character here. And of course Grimmjow also being a pretty high damaging character, who is also offering you those additional link-swap potions. Your 5 heart bonuses are all actually pretty good, they're all knight characters, so they all can do some respectable damage, but of course the most ideal one here is going to be the new Kisuke, since he does have killer advantage, does have the highest DPS, and also does have a debuff on his SA2. The power bonuses this time around aren't anything too special. Halibel and Osun now being the 50% 2 times damage bonus characters. Both of them don't really have that high of a damage output, and are both going to be quite slow compared to the other attributes. But at least you do have Kenny, who's a 25% bonus, so he might be your better option here. Speed has access to Akon, who can increase your damage output when inflicting status summons, and he himself does also increase the amount of link swap potions you do get, while at the same time having a decent damage output himself. Kagarosa going to be your best DPS character for the speed attribute here, since he himself does have a very high null attack damage output, with the fact that he is a 2 times damage bonus, and with killer, he's going to be your best speed option here. YHWACH is also the same, a normal attack damaging character with weakening, and also a debuff soul bomb, allowing your whole team to do significantly more damage. And then Mind has access to Mayuri and also Lisa, 2 characters that have a very high damage output, especially Mayuri. And then rounding up the Mind attribute, you also have access to Luna Rukia, who can do some respectable damage herself, and is mainly there just to be a boost character, increasing your attack, focus, and defense by 43%. And as for the familiars you should bring, I recommend bringing Jadambo or the Yuha pair. Both of these pets will help you go against the bind that Yuha does inflict in this particular quest, so it'll help you or your players out if you are clearing a tad bit slower. But with that said, now let's actually break down the boss pattern itself. Now this boss is going to have 3 phases. Phase 1 starting off with a cross attack that is going to do 3 times in a set direction, so it's always going to be the exact same position every single time. Keep in mind the attacks this boss will be doing come out very quick, and it's going to keep you on your toes. Despite the pattern itself being quite easy to memorize, you just need to make sure that you're always up and ready to react to the attacks that he does do. In this case, those 3 attacks come out very quick and easy to dodge, but right after that, he is then going to do a red attack that is going to cover around 75% of the map. The first safe zone being on the left side of the map. Right after that, he's going to do the exact same attack, but this time the safe zone will be right at the bottom. So depending on where you position, you can just flash step once to get in and out of both attacks. You will then be given a few extra seconds to attack him, and right after that, he will then do 4 circular attacks, always in the same position, keep this in mind. That will be in front of him, on him, and also on the side of him. My best recommendation is to stay on the left or right side of the map, and it does give you the safe zone from this attack and also the following set of attacks, which does include a large circular AoE around him, and also 3 attacks on the outer side of the map. Again, safe zone will be on the left side or the right side. Personally, I prefer the left side. Yuha is then going to select one player at random, indicating that they are about to get bind in around 7 or so seconds, and while simultaneously doing this, he is going to attack the bottom part of the map while also putting a shield at the top part of the map. Therefore, if you do try and damage Yuha from behind, you are going to get damaged yourself. The best thing to do here again is to stay on the left side or right side of the map, where you can easily attack him and also dodge the attack that he's about to do. Because right after that, he's going to do the exact same attack, but in the opposite direction, this time attacking the top side of the map, but also putting a shield in front of him. The player that is binded will then get dragged into the center of the map. Keep in mind the shield that he did use in the previous attack, it's still there, so you want to make sure you are attacking it from the side, but the player that is dragged into the middle is now stuck there, being ready for a circular aura, which if you don't destroy the bind quick enough, you are then going to get one-shotted. So as players that aren't binded, you want to continue damaging the Yuha boss, or you want to try and free your fellow member, as they are now stuck there, because he's then doing a circular attack, which is going to cover majority of the map, and since it is a purple attack, this is going to one-shot you. So stay on the outer side of the map, and make sure you do free your teammate, which you can do by using attacks on them. Once that's complete, that is phase 1 done. Let's move on to phase 2. Now phase 2 is going to start off with a red attack, this time covering again around 75% of the map, and the safe zone this time around is always going to be in the exact same position, basically behind him, aka at the top of the map. The attack itself will be quite quick, and it's going to go in a clockwise manner, given the safe zone from the top, right, bottom, bottom, and then also left. Once YHWACH completes that first rotation, the safe zone will then appear on the opposite side of the map, so on the right side, and then it will appear below him, and then behind him on the top part of the map. After a few seconds, YHWACH will then do an attract move, bringing the players inwards, and he will then follow that up with a circular aura around him. It's kind of a small AoE, so once you do get attracted in, just flash step backwards. After that, he's then going to do 4 attacks in a set direction that all go off at the exact same time. He's going to do that twice, and then leave 2 puddles on the map, which is going to be randomly decided based on the play he does choose. Once the puddles wear off, he's then going to do an instant KO move that'll be in front of him, aka the bottom part of the map. And right after that, attack behind him, which is then going to attack again majority of the map, around 75% straight away. And the safe zone will then be at the top of the map, but right when that attack goes off, make sure you do flash step away from the safe zone, because the safe zone will then be the next part of his attack. And it's not done, because right after that, he's then going to attack 50% of the map in front of him, so the bottom half, and then let off a circular blast, which is going to cover again 75% of the map, the safe zone then being the bottom part of the map. And once that's done, you have then completed the second phase. And then once you get to phase 3 is going to start off in a very similar way phase 2 started off. And by that, he's going to do an attack that's going to cover majority of the map, the safe zone being at the top, and it's going to go in a clockwise attack pattern. So the safe zone will be at the top, right, bottom, and then also left. However, the big difference here is that he's also going to put up a shield where the safe zone is. So unlike in phase 2, you cannot damage him during this part of the attack, because if you do, the damage will be reflected back to you. So what you want to focus here is more so dodging these attacks and not actually damaging him. And once you complete that first rotation, he will then do the exact same move once more. This time around, though, the shields will not be there. So this is when you want to use your soul bomb and also attacks. After a few seconds, he will then begin to do a knockback attack, and also 2 cross attacks in a set direction. Easily dodge those and make sure that you are in a position that when you do get pushed back, you aren't pushed to the outer side of the map, as you will be taking damage and also getting paralyzed. If you position yourself well during the second part of the attack, you're basically going to get pushed right into the safe zone, as when the knockback does happen, 4 large circular attacks will be placed on the outer side of the map. And then similar to phase 1, YHWACH will then select 1 player at random to be binded. That's going to go off in 7 seconds. And while also doing that, he's going to attack upwards, right, down, and then also left. And once the bind is about to go off, he would then do 4 circular attacks around him, and the safe zone will be on the outer side of the map or just right in front of him. You choose on where you want to stand. And at this point, you can then try to free your teammate, but keep in mind he's going to do 4 circular AoE attacks on the outer side of the map. Again, the safe zone here being more so in the middle or in between each circular attack. But make sure you don't stay in the middle for too long, as he's going to do a circular aura that will one-shot any player that is actually binded. So make sure you do free them so they can flash step away and avoid that circular aura. And if you do survive that, at that point you have then completed phase 3. And that's basically the entire breakdown for this YHWACH epic raid. I feel like it's a pretty easy epic raid in terms of the attacks that YHWACH does do. They just come out super fast, so it seems harder than it actually is. And I guess on phase 3, that's going to be the annoying part, as we are super used to using our soul bomb and doing damage at the start of a phase. But in phase 3, you want to wait a couple seconds for that first rotation to be completed, when you can then use your soul bomb and then start damaging the YHWACH. But with that said, that's basically the breakdown for this YHWACH epic raid. We have the entire month to farm this, so you don't have to farm it straight away. Feel free to do it in your own time. But just make sure you do learn the pattern so it's easier for yourself and also your teammates. Hope this video was able to help you lads. Have fun playing this epic raid, and I'll see you lads next time. Take care and peace.